Apple's latest OS update has issues with security tools. Disney may be dumping Slack after a recent data breach. A sophisticated GitHub hack threatens security for users. And German police claim to have broken through the anonymity of the Tor browser. Welcome to Cybersecurity Today. I'm your host, Jim Love. Apple's latest Mac OS update, Sequoia version 15, is causing significant compatibility issues with major security tools, raising concerns for IT professionals and individual users alike. Several security vendors, including CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, ESET, and Microsoft, report their tools are inoperable on Mac OS Sequoia. The update is causing firewall-related and DNS issues affecting network connections and even some browser functionalities. Most affected companies are advising users not to update Sequoia until the issues are resolved. IT professionals managing Mac OS environments may want to delay updating to Mac OS Sequoia until your security vendor confirms compatibility. That may also involve disabling auto updates for major OS releases to prevent unexpected issues. This situation, following on the recent CrowdStrike issues, make a good case for companies to implement a testing process for any new OS releases, including dev and beta builds before wide deployment. And as much as there's a move to reduce the number of tools in the cybersecurity environment, this may force companies to buck that trend and consider multi-layered security approaches to reduce reliance on a single tool or vendors. For individual users, you may want to hold off on updating to Sequoia if you use third-party security software. Regarding the official fixes, stay informed through your security vendors' channels. Do not leverage third-party sites for fixes, as these situations are often exploited by hackers. Disney is reportedly dumping messaging app Slack following a massive data breach in July, highlighting the ongoing challenges companies face in securing their internal communications. Reports are that the Walt Disney Company is transitioning away from Slack after a threat actor known as Nullbulge stole 1.1 terabytes of confidential data from nearly 10,000 Slack channels. The stolen information reportedly includes details on upcoming projects, financial data, and IT information. According to CNBC, Disney plans to complete the migration to a new streamlined enterprise-wide collaboration tool by the end of their next fiscal quarter. Similar breaches have affected other companies in the past, like Uber and Activision. When selecting or implementing collaboration tools, organizations must prioritize robust security measures and regularly reassess their effectiveness. And as companies increasingly rely on digital platforms for internal communication, balancing convenience, communication, and collaboration with data protection remains a critical challenge for IT and security teams. There's a report in security journal Bleeping Computer that details a sophisticated phishing campaign that's exploiting GitHub to distribute malware to unsuspecting developers and contributors. Dubbed GitHub Scanner, the attack leverages GitHub's legitimate notification system to lure victims. Under this scheme, attackers sign up for GitHub accounts and use these to create issues on open-source repositories, falsely claiming security vulnerabilities. Users then receive official GitHub email alerts about these issues, adding credibility to the scam. Victims are directed to a fake GitHubScanner.com website, which uses a deceptive CAPTCHA to trick users into loading and running malicious code. The malware, identified as Luma Stealer, can steal credentials, cookies, and sensitive data from infected devices. It's a simple but powerful way to leverage GitHub to get even sophisticated users to let down their guard. And the campaign highlights the evolving tactics of cybercriminals who are now exploiting trusted platforms like GitHub to conduct supply chain attacks. IT professionals should warn their teams about this threat and emphasize the importance of verifying any alerts, even security alerts, and even from seemingly legitimate sources. The Tor network, long considered a reliable tool for protecting online anonymity, even on the dark web, faces a significant challenge. German law enforcement has reportedly developed a technique to unmask Tor users raising concerns about the network's effectiveness and even its future. Contrary to long-held beliefs, de-anonymizing Tor users appears possible. German police successfully identified at least one criminal user during the Boys Town investigation, marking the first documented cases of this technique. This breakdown challenges the assumption that Tor provides near impenetrable anonymity. This method, known as timing analysis, involves law enforcement operating their own Tor nodes. By monitoring multiple nodes, they can track the timing of individual data packets as they move through the network. Despite Tor's multiple layers of encryption, correlating these timing patterns allows investigators to trace connections back to their origin, effectively unmasking the user. This method led to the dismantling of Boys Town, a dark web platform for child sexual abuse materials with over 400,000 users. That apparently happened in April of 2021, but the story has only just come to light. The Tor project's response has been measured but concerned. They acknowledged the potential threat while emphasizing that Tor remains the best privacy solution for most users. The project is actively seeking more technical details to investigate and potentially address the vulnerability. While no one would be opposed to the dismantling of a site that exploits children, privacy advocates warn that the technique could be misused by authoritarian regimes to target dissidents and journalists, and are urging the Tor project to enhance its anonymity protections. For those who depend on the Tor browser for legitimate protection of privacy, the recommendations are: always use the latest Tor browser version, disable JavaScript in the browser settings, avoid installing browser add-ons, utilize bridges and pluggable transports, and never use personal information or accounts linked to your real identity. And of course, outdated software and increased scrutiny of specific exit nodes may contribute to vulnerabilities. That's our show for today. You can find the show notes at technewsday.com. I'm your host, Jim Love. Thanks for listening.